Thank you, Chairman, sir. And my director, Dr. Datta, my colleagues and students. Today, I would like to share our experience with hormonal and nutritional interventions to improve the reproduction in buffaloes. Wait. Yes, sir. So, buffalo is blamed for poor reproduction, particularly delayed puberty, long calving interval, calf mortality, and when we compare with this animal with cow, because poor reproduction in what sense? It is always compared with cow. So when we see the population from 1982 to till now, the population of the cow remained static, that is 192 million. Whereas that of buffalo, that has increased from 70 million to 110 million. And still, there is the meat is also highest export commodity, as well as we say that the buffalo has highest calf mortality. So you have to see whether buffalo has a poor reproduction or a very good reproduction. So when we compare how after calving the buffalo resumed its cyclicity. So what we have found using ultrasound at 10 days interval till 90 days, we have found that 30%, that within 30 days of calving, 40% of the buffalo, they resume cyclicity. And only nearly 20% buffalo, they remain acyclic even after 90 days. This is data of 102 animals from August to March. And when we compared this data with winter and summer season, we have found that during winter season, only 10% animals are acyclic. And in the summer season, 40% animals are acyclic. This data is based on ultrasound examination carried out at 10 days interval, 25 days after calving. So the question is, can we predict that this animal will be an early ovulator, or it will resume its cyclicity earlier, or it will resume cyclicity after 90 days? So we have carried out experiment and we have measured certain biochemical parameters using IGF-1, BHDA, leptin, AMH, blood urea, total protein, albumin, cholesterol, glucose, BCS, body weight, milking, etc. And we have seen that those animals which have resumed cyclicity within 30 days and the intercalving interval of the previous one was less than 400 days. And the other one, the more than 90 days postpartum enestus and intercalving interval also 500 days. Our finding was that among the parameters studied in buffaloes that maintained on a balanced diet, none of these parameters can predict that this animal will be acyclic or it will resume early cyclicity. The question is, can we improve this acyclicity or can we reduce this acyclicity by certain nutritional intervention? So we have carried out experiment and we have divided these animals in a group of 10, 10, 10, and we have feed a diet, control diet, a bypass protein of 25%, the other group 40%, bypass fat over and extra the control diet. And the experiment is again the same, that postpartum resumption of the cyclicity, days to first over discharge, number of AI per conception, pregnancy rate remains same in the both treatment as well as control group. So if you are feeding over and extra diet over the control, you cannot improve the reproduction, but definitely there was an increase in fat-corrected milk yield. Thus, next is, can we improve this reproduction by certain hormonal interventions? So we have given this GnRH hormone 21 days postpartum to animals, and this hormone was injected 10 microgram intravenously on day 21. And we have found that after giving this GnRH hormone, the peak occurred around 2-hour interval, and the high LH release was found during the breeding season as well as compared to the non-breeding season. The resumption of the ovarian cyclicity after giving this GnRH hormone, we have found that GnRH significantly improved the early resumption of cyclicity in treated buffaloes, particularly during the non-breeding season. However, during the breeding season, there was no effect on this postpartum resumption of the cyclicity as well as the conception rate. Now the question comes, the stress and induction and synchronization protocols, they are very much used in buffaloes. And one of the basic requirements of these protocols is animals should be healthy and nutritionally sound. And the choice of these protocols is depend upon the cyclic status of the animal, whether this animal is cyclic or acyclic. How accurate you are in diagnosing the condition that this animal is acyclic or cyclic. It also depends upon the dynamics of the corpus luteum and the follicles, economical considerations, season of the year, and managemental consideration. And there are 4 protocols there that are majorly used, or 4 hormones: prostaglandin, progesterone implant, GnRH based protocols, and combination of these 2 above protocols. So when we give these protocols in cyclic or anovular buffaloes, so first we diagnose whether animal is cyclic or anovular. So for cyclic animals, we have to consider the follicular dynamics as well as dynamics of the corpus luteum. Whereas in case of the anovular animal, progesterone implant is more suitable. So we have carried out this experiment using various protocols like OVCINCH, OVCINCH plus, HeatCinch, Cedar without PMSG, Cristar with PMSG, Cedar with PMSG, prostaglandin in case of silent estrus animals. And what we have found that stress induction rate was highest in HeatCinch protocol. But the Cedar, the progesterone implant was better, and the progesterone based protocol was found to be superior as compared to the GnRH based protocol in buffaloes. So what was the problem with the GnRH based protocol? We have found that when we give this GnRH injection, if the follicle is of large size, definitely it converts into a corpus luteum. And if the follicles are small size, then there is no response. But in certain animals, when we give GnRH, there is formation of luteinized follicle. And when we give this prostaglandin on day 7 to those animals in which there is luteinized follicle, they do not respond to the prostaglandin on day 7. And we have also found that only those anovular buffalo conceived which respond to GnRH on both occasions, because in OVCINCH there are 2 GnRH injection, first and second. So only those animals will conceive that will respond to formation of CL to both GnRH injection. And in certain cases also we have found when you give this OVCINCH protocol, there is some asynchronization, particularly in some animals there is a short cycle because of the premature ovulation of the ovulatory follicle. So these are the two protocols which we have found that these are the progesterone-based protocol. The upper one is good for the anovular animal. The other is good for the cyclic animals. The next is we have found in field conditions particularly that layman inseminator particularly inject progesterone hormone as thanda tika to improve the conception rate. So what we have found that we have carried out an experiment in taking 30 animals and we have inseminated animals during the mid-AI and progesterone injection is given at the time of AI and ultrasound examination was carried out at 6-hour interval. What we have found that in treatment group, those animals which have given progesterone hormone at the time of AI, we have found that ovulation is delayed in those animals as compared to the control animals. And there was also high percentage of anovulation. And similarly, the conception rate was reduced in those animals in which we have given progesterone hormone at the time of AI. So this hormone should not be given. The other is the buffalo also have good fertility during the post-ovulatory period. What we have found that when we do ultrasound examination of large animals, some animals are reported in heat at the time of ultrasound examination. And when we do ultrasound examination, what we have found that there is good uterine tone, good discharge, but the follicle has ovulated. Now the question is whether we should inseminate that animal or not. So when we are founding these animals in large animals, so we have tried that, okay, we should inseminate those animals which have, there is ovulation in these animals. And the condition was that they have good uterine tone, good uterine discharge, and all the follicles are less than 5 to 6 mm. And we have inseminated those animals intrauterine in the horn ipsilateral to the ovary bearing corpus haemorrhagica. What we have found that out of 13 animals, 7 animals conceived. It means that the buffalo also has a very good fertility, or we can say that buffalo has a wide window of fertility for insemination. So the conclusion is that in case of buffalo, the postpartum resumption of cyclicity is nearly 80% in buffaloes. Those are fed a balanced diet. Extra nutrition over and above the balanced diet do not improve the reproduction, and certainly we require some hormonal interventions. GnRH administration at day 21 postpartum, it is beneficially, particularly during the low breeding season. Progesterone implants versus GnRH based protocol in buffalo, we have found that progesterone implants are better. And progesterone injection at the time of AI, it should not be indicated. It has deleterious effect. And the other is that use minimum hormone. Sometimes I have seen they give many hormone for estrus synchronization. It is not the GnRH, it is progesterone, prostaglandin. There are many metabolic hormones, they also regulate the reproduction. So you do not put very large quantity of hormone in one animal to synchronize the estrus. So use minimum hormone. And the fertility during the immediate postpartum, immediately post-ovulatory period is also good in case of buffalo. Thank you very much.
For respecting the time, so exactly completed in the allotted time. And I was just wondering, I just want to seek some clarification. Yes. The topic that was assigned to you was hormonal and nutritional intervention. Yes. But we did not hear much about nutrition.
Sir, we have carried out experiment on those animals which are fed normal diet, balanced diet. Okay. So we have presented data of those animals.
Okay, thank you for the update. Now the House can throw open 3 questions if you have clarifications. Please introduce yourself and then clarify.
Myself, Dr. Harpreet from Animal Science in Guadalajara. Now, my question is regarding the whether these stars are better or simply better.
We have tried Cristar as well as this Cedar. Earlier, Cristar was available. At present, it is not available. So we have found almost equal results with Cristar as well as Cedar.
Sir, you talked about the insemination after ovulation. So I'm working at the farm. Sometimes I observe that there are ovulation is done, that ovulation has gone through, but there are some small follicles. Like sometimes we can say it's a bunch of follicles, like 30 to 40 follicles. We can say that next wave started on.
Yes, sir.
At that time, we can inseminate, or we can just say some animals like 2 or 3, 4, 5 mm follicles are there. The follicle is just ovulated, and next wave has not. Is there any differentiation between that?
Yeah, in case of buffalo, you will count a small number of follicles.
Yes.
So when there is ovulation of the largest dominant follicle, that is pre-ovulatory follicles, at that time only small follicles are remain, only 2 to 3 or 4, 5 mm. So at that time we have inseminated, and the condition was that there is a good uterine discharge, good vaginal discharge, and uterine tone. Probably the animal had just ovulated probably within 6 hours. So we have inseminated in the horns which have a carpus hemorrhagic.
So my concern is there any relationship between number of follicles?
No.
Like if next wave starts, we can get 46 numbers.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Dr. Sharma, I have a small clarification.
Yes, sir.
The study was based on the animals who are very well fed, balanced,
Yeah, yes,
all mineral supplementation, everything.
Yeah.
But still, he was talking about this less number of follicles and ovulation time variation and all.
Yes, sir.
So, despite the good nutrition, what do you think the reason could be?
Because you cannot breed all 100% animal. When you do AI, in first AI, generally 50% animal will consent. So it is very difficult for getting all animals pregnant with first AI or second AI, even in spite of this good nutrition.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sharma.